Okay, I'm here in Bendigo, parked outside or down the road from Lisa Chester's office. I'm going to go in there in a moment, but I hope you can help me to make this video go viral and just take a moment to hear my story. I am trying to get Lisa Chester's to communicate on my behalf to one of her ministerial colleagues, the Minister for Immigration, over a problem that I've been having, and the Minister himself hasn't answered any of my repeated emails. Here's the situation. I'm a cancer patient. A few months ago I was given a terminal prognosis for bowel cancer, and I went through surgery and I lost 35 kilograms, and it was a grim diagnosis, and naturally this has caused trauma in my family. My wife is from Egypt, and we thought it would be a good thing for her to have a member of her family visit, and just to comfort her and reassure her. This is not an unusual or an unreasonable request. So my brother-in-law in Egypt applied for a visitor's visa and was refused. And when we looked at the reason for the refusal, they claimed that it was because he had a lack of incentive to return to Egypt after his visit, which is sort of their standard line. However, you know, my brother-in-law is a successful businessman. He owns and runs multiple businesses in Alexandria. He has multiple properties in Alexandria. More importantly, he is married with 2 children and has family commitments there, has close extended family there. And he just wants to visit his sister because her husband was given this terminal diagnosis. So I have been trying to communicate with the immigration department to say this is completely ridiculous. The grounds upon which my brother-in-law was refused a visa is just complete nonsense, and so I've had no response whatsoever. So I did the thing, only reasonable thing a reasonable person can do if you're not getting a reply from the minister, to contact your local federal member. And I've been getting this standard line from her office to say that they don't interfere with such things, that they won't correspond. Apparently she won't even pick up the phone and talk to her ministerial colleague on my behalf. I find this extraordinarily callous and incomprehensible, really, because we pay our members of parliament to represent us in parliament and to represent their constituents in important matters when dealing with the government. The problem I have is that this poor decision made by the minister, made by the Department of Immigration, is it's just wrong. It's factually wrong. It's factually invalid, and there's no reason why this man shouldn't be permitted a visitor's visa to come to Australia, particularly on compassionate grounds. But even if he just wanted to come as a tourist, there's no reason. We're part of a Coptic community here in Bendigo, and we see people coming to Bendigo all the time from Egypt because to celebrate a family birthday or a birth of a child. Parents of the people here often, but for some reason we've been denied this. This is the second time we've tried to get my brother-in-law to come here, and it's been a failure. So the standard line I'm being given by Lisa Chester's office is that he needs to involve an immigration agent. Well, the fact is, an immigration agent isn't going to help with what is an internal governmental problem of dysfunction. And so we need somebody to draw attention to the minister that there's these problems happening within the department, within his department, and he won't respond to my communications, and Lisa Chester's apparently won't represent me. So I did get a call. I sent an email this morning saying I've waited 9 days since my last email, and I'm still waiting for a reply. And then I got a call from an arrogant young man who, when I was attempting to explain these things to him, he hung up on me. So apparently it makes no difference that I have this terminal diagnosis. It makes no difference to them. They're just stonewalling me and my family. You know, my wife wants to see her brother in this harrowing time. My children want to see their uncle. It's not an unusual or an unreasonable request to make. And they've referred me to this appeals process where we can appeal governmental decisions. However, to participate in that process, which takes a notoriously long period of time, it actually costs thousands of dollars, which is prohibitively expensive. So there doesn't seem to be any way to obtain any review or any justice without the government trying to reach into your pocket and take more money from you. My brother-in-law has already twice paid application fees for his visa, and they're non-refundable. So it's just incomprehensible to me that a government department can be so embarrassingly dysfunctional. So I'm going to go in there and maybe have a face-to-face with the young man that hung up on me today and see what he's got to say. He'll probably say I was being rude or something, but I was just being passionate in my attempts to reason with him, suggesting that Lisa Chester's, if she was our elected representative, she should probably get off her bottom and actually do her job. So let's see how this goes. Is this Lisa Chester's office? Hi. I was wondering if I could speak to the young man who hung up on the phone with me this morning.
I'm not sure who that would be. Could I have your name?
My name's Alan Weatherall.
Okay, if you'd like to take a seat, I'll...
Yep. Thank you.
I'm asking you not to film.
Okay, I'll pause it, and if I'm not satisfied, I'll make a summary, because this is going on the internet today.
I'm asking you to stop filming.
I'm not going to stop filming.
Okay, then I'm asking you to leave the office.
Well, you can call the police, because...
I am uncomfortable with you filming me.
You're uncomfortable for political reasons.
I am the federal member for Bendigo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking you to stop filming me. My name is Lisa Chester.
You don't have that right.
My office has provided you advice. Yes, I do.
You don't have that right to avoid public accountability.
You've come into the office requesting information in relation to your brother's visa.
No, I haven't requested information. I'm requesting that you speak to the minister, not the minister's office, and explain to him that there is dysfunction within his department. The reason why my brother-in-law was refused a visa to visit his sister, who is going through trauma because the doctors say I'm dying, the reason why they have stated is invalid. All the information they've provided is false and wrong. So it's not a matter for some administrative's appeal review. It's a matter of us explaining to the minister that there are serious problems within his department that have real life and death implications for your constituents. And you are telling me you won't speak to the minister, and you're really, really sorry that I'm dying, but there's nothing you can do.
Well, I don't know your particular health situation, and I'm
Colorectal cancer.
I'm very sorry to hear that anybody is unwell, and
Of
I
course.
am sorry
Well,
that
that's a
the
platitude.
visa system is the way that it is. But the advice that we have is that when there's a rejection, the minister in this situation cannot intervene.
This is not my first rodeo.
There is.
I've been through this process before.
Well, then you
when
know
my
that standing here and being
it was a different
confrontational this
outcome.
way.
During Kevin Rudd's government, who apparently were a compassionate government compared to the Albanese government, my other brother-in-law was refused a visa to come to Australia to attend our wedding. And it was because of a recalcitrant principal migration officer in the Cairo office who refused all my personal appeals. I wrote, and he eventually let me know that the reason for the refusal was because he was as a Christian, he was part of a persecuted religious minority in Egypt and therefore had a disincentive to return. Similar language, but different reason given.
That you're filming. We cannot have a genuine conversation whilst you're feeling.
This is for the public record. This is important.
Well,
let me finish my story.
It's really interesting that you are denying my right to say I feel uncomfortable with you filming me.
Well, I'm sorry. In my situation, I feel a lot more uncomfortable than you. You're not having a terminal illness.
How can we have a genuine
You're being
discussion?
paid with my tax dollar monies to represent me, and you're refusing to represent me. And I have a terminal illness, and you're saying you're uncomfortable and you don't want to have this conversation. Let me tell you this. I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to have this conversation either. It should not be necessary. But I've written multiple emails explaining in detail my situation and explaining how previously, when Chris Bowen intervened on my behalf, fulfilling his obligations as a minister, he solved the problem for me. And your government don't give a damn.
Well, that's not true.
It's not true. What are you going to do?
Well,
I can't go through the appeals process that you've recommended because it's too expensive. It's unavailable. It's inaccessible to me.
So the rules are different today to what they were prior to us being in government.
Well, who makes the rules? The government?
The government does. We were elected back.
You're the
in May.
government.
We've done lots of changes to the rules.
There haven't been improvements.
What we're talking about is requires a legislative change.
Okay.
And where we're at today, the advice that we have is your next step is to go through AAT.
Which is inaccessible to me. And even if I access this, it will be too late.
How do you know that?
Well, my wife has already... Okay, let's say everything goes well, I respond to treatment and everything's fine, which I hope is the case. It'll be too late for my wife, who's gone through current trauma and wants the presence of her brother here now. It'll be too late for that to be helpful, won't it?
Well, I don't know. I don't know those circumstances. I can't predict the future. All I can tell you
I'm
is
talking about the current. I'm saying my wife currently needs the supportive presence of her brother now. It's not unusual for family members to come from a foreign country to visit their relatives during important family events. The reason why he's been denied his visa, it's not because he doesn't qualify. It's not because he didn't provide all the information. It's not because...
I'm asking you to stop filming so we can have a genuine conversation about your situation.
Will it resolve it? I'm happy to stop now if you can offer me some kind of resolution.
I've tried to offer you the answers that my officers previously told you, but the way in which you're going about this doesn't help your situation. It doesn't help. I'm not sure what you're trying to achieve.
Right now, I think it's obvious what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring public accountability to this situation. And you're doing your best not to be accountable.
Well, I am. I've come to the window and I'm telling you.
And why did your staff member hang up on me this morning?
Well, you tell me, how were you behaving on the phone?
I was being emphatic. I was being logical. I was explaining to him that the advice I've been given is that the appeals process is inaccessible to me, and that the advice to employ a immigration agent isn't going to help with the dysfunctional problem within the department.
And that's not something I can also help you with.
That's not something...
No.
You can't talk to your ministerial colleague on my behalf.
That
You are
won't
elected
help
to
you.
represent.
That won't help
You are elected to represent your constituents.
And I'm letting you know, these are the rules as they currently stand. This is the advice that we have, regardless of who your elected representative is.
So if I
this
search
is
for
the
evidence
advice.
that the minister... So the minister cannot intervene in any immigration issue.
They do at a certain point.
At a certain
of the
point.
process. And that is what we've been trying to explain to you from the very first time that you engaged. The minister can intervene at a certain point of the process. You're not at that stage of the process yet.
So
It
the
needs
minister
to
can
go
only
through.
intervene after I participate in a prohibitively expensive process which is not accessible to me.
My understanding of that is the current rules. That's my understanding of the
Well,
current rules.
it's a bullshit
And that's-
rule, and
that's
it
the
needs to be
advice that we
changed,
have.
and you're the government, and you need to try and change it. Will you do that for me? Will you try to change that for me?
We are debating immigration laws all the time.
Will you
But
try to change
you
that
tell
for
me
me?
how our parliament's working on immigration.
Sorry?
In your situation, trying to get your brother here, what's going to be quicker? Is it going to be going back to the department, going through the process, or changing the rules in relation to when the minister can intervene? If it is about getting your brother here, then you have to use the process that's in front of you.
People have told me it takes years.
Well, how long do you think it will take to change the rules in relation to when the minister can intervene?
Well, where there's a will, there's a way. There's no will here, that's the problem.
So we are working within a framework. The reason why I've come to the window is because I am concerned about your behaviour towards my staff. They are here to do a job. This is a workplace. We've given you the advice that we
All I have
available
done
to
with your
you.
staff member is argue a logical position emphatically, which is what I'm trying to do
Well,
with
you
you.
also
And you're
don't
telling
like
me
the
you feel
answer.
unsafe. So you don't feel unsafe anymore? And because I know this conversation is going nowhere, I will conclude it, and I will go out knowing that my local member has not tried, and this will hopefully go viral on the internet, and hopefully you will learn that every elected member needs to be accountable to the people who vote for them.
Yeah,